All right, good morning. What an exciting morning it is, too. Welcome to the Golden Glory Podcast, the bi-weekly MMO show that dives beneath the surface, asks the hard questions, and uncovers how you, the player, can maximize your impact in game. Our current focus is the upcoming MMORPG Artcraft entertainment, Crowfall. This is episode 4. We are broadcasting live on Tuesday, February 24th, 2015, and this is the Countdown Show. We are all here, excited to watch that number tick down to 0. With us today, we have the full crew going around the clock. Onraz, say hello and tell us what you've been up to the past week.
Let me see. The past week, I've been watching my tax return dwindle nothing as I've been out trying to support various games that I'm really excited about. This morning didn't help one bit at all. And right now, as you can tell, my lovely surroundings, I'm trapped in a hotel in the lovely city of Dallas. So really excited to talk out some speculation with it.
Cool. How about you, Lethality?
Well, pretty much counting down to this morning, the Crowfall Christmas morning. It's like Christmas except with, death and destruction and everything apparently. So, but pretty excited. Yeah, I've been doing the same thing. There's been a few of the games that I've been following popped up on the radar this week, but Crowfall, looks like the Kickstarter is live already this morning, and my wallet's a little thinner. But I'm really excited to see what happens when the official Artcraft reveals and stuff start coming on the live stream there.
Excellent. How about you, Mike?
Great, good to be here. Glad, wow. It's up already, right? So as we're even getting ready for the show, we're like, oh my gosh, let's get in there. Let's get into Kickstarter. Let's do a weekend to support the game. So good to be here.
And
what have you been doing? You've been other than Chief. What have you been doing? For Christ's sake, I know because I see you in chat all the time, but we don't let everyone in our private chat very often. I don't think anyone else can handle it. So, what have you been doing last week?
Well, it's been a really interesting week for me, both personal and game wise. There's just so much excitement going on right now. We've been obviously been anticipating Crowfall and what the countdown timer means. That's why we're here. But, there's been other games that we've been talking about. And, our private Twitter has just been exploding over here with anticipation. So let's get right to it. As we said, Kickstarter is already live. FAQ pages have been updated. But let's just get into it and review and see what is going on. Where do you guys want to start? You want to start with the FAQs? You want to start with the...
Well, let's start with the Kickstarter because I think that's where everybody is right now. Obviously, we were counting down, right? This countdown timer. They're still on the front page. If we go to the Crowfall site, it is there.
20 minutes.
Well, but the Kickstarter's live. So let's talk about the Kickstarter and kind of what the options are and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, look at that. We're already up to $37,000 in what? 20 minutes it's been up. That's
technically it wasn't supposed to be up until about 20 minutes from now. So there you go.
And that's under 200. So
right, doesn't even count.
Right. So under 200 people, and we're closing in on 37,000.
Yeah.
So you can do the math on some of that. That there are definitely some higher level than normal being talked about. So when we go down these tiers, you'll see that cut threshold where it is actually based on some of the choices and access. It's actually pushing people toward what I would consider outside the norm as kind of basic support.
Yeah, so should we play the video or should we just go down and discuss the tiers and everything? Because, watching a honest video might be a little awkward.
Yeah, nah.
So let's just go ahead and scroll down.
Everyone's already watched the video. Yeah, everyone in our chat has already watched the video.
So we'll just slowly go through the site. If anything jumps out to you to talk about, let's just kind of...
Let's talk about Franklin's pledge level first.
Yeah, my pledge level's way up there.
Yeah, let's all talk about our sellout levels.
Yeah, let's do that actually first. So, Franklin,
first.
Where did you... So, my mic went out, I think. Can you guys hear me?
You're good.
You're good.
You're good.
Okay. Anyway, so Franklin, what made you decide to pledge at that level? I know we'll get down to the specifics down below, but what grabbed you at that level?
I think it was the physical Kickstarter. I mean, the physical collector's edition. I'm a sucker for collector's editions, and that was kind of the benchmark in the fact that it's on sale if you do it really, really early.
Yep.
I think that was the clincher for me. I was going to go a little bit lower than that, but you know what? I've been such enamored with what they've been saying, what Coleman and Walton have both been saying about what they're trying to do in the vision. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go all in.
Yeah, I'm at the same tier for the same reasons. I love my physical collector's editions, and it is $35 off right now for early birds. So it seems like if you're going to go that direction anyway.
I gotta jump in. Do you see that people are buying the non-early bird vision versions? I know it's $5 different between the early bird version and the other one, but I mean, if the early bird says see below, why buy the one above?
Right.
But not the one below.
Well, that's confusing a little bit, and Gordon mentioned that in one of his posts. It is the early birds are special versions of the actual packages, but in limited numbers. So, yeah, unfortunately, anybody who's buying the $250 tier shouldn't do that. They should buy the $215 tier because that's the same thing.
Well, no, not necessarily. I look at that differently. You could take advantage of the early bird, but if you wanted to give more, but that's the only tier you want, paying the regular price is perfectly acceptable.
What an honorable approach.
Very true.
Franklin, making me feel very selfish all of a sudden.
Help.
I know. Let me burn some cash. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Help! Well, Franklin just wadded up a thing of ones and threw them in the trash can.
James is about to have a heart attack.
Start another account and back it for $35, and now give your friend a lovely, earliest bird $30 comp. There you go. Have 2 accounts. I'm just saying that, get your value. It's a Kickstarter. I feel like some people are wasting money. They don't need to. There's plenty of backing spots there for the early birds. Just anyone in chat, if you haven't pulled the trigger yet, pay attention.
Well, you're going to need that extra $35 for your divorce attorney, right, James?
That's true. That's so true. I one of the people on Twitter said, "Hey, don't worry. They can also split up your kingdom at 45%. So I can rule a kingdom, at least 60% of it after taxes and divorce attorneys." So, Mike, where are you at? What did you pull the trigger on?
I did the gold. The gold is kind of where I landed. It's about what I planned on doing. I like what's there. I like what's in it. I think it's a good package. I like the idea of the 6 months of VIP. There's definitely value there. I like the idea of the exclusive Kickstarter stronghold, kind of a small fortification, kind of a small house. I was wondering if we'd get some type of housing perk out of this. Name a Fallen Hero is interesting. I think the FAQ does cover what that is. If I recall, I just had a chance to glance through it in the preparation. But no, I like it. I think that works kind of with what I had available.
Yeah, so let's get into talking about some of the individual tiers. And I kind of scrolled down past the first ones because they're basically just, we like your game, we're going to support you, but doesn't really give you any bonuses. The $60 tier seems to be the first one that starts adding things to your tiers. And the first thing that jumped out at me is Arcane Weapon Recipe Set Cosmetic. Now, James and I, being the crafting aficionados, is probably going to latch onto the possibilities here. I mean, not only are you making a weapon, but you have a way to make it look different. And, so that brings up a whole lot of questions about, what direction are we going? And we'll get to the free FAQ and see if they talk about that yet. I didn't see a crafting FAQ yet.
No, nothing in a 7-minute video, and no one wanted to click the salvaging tab for poor Onras. I've been ranting about it for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing.
I'm gonna take my pledge back.
I'm gonna run through this big wall. I'm gonna run through this wall. Boom! You can't take a couple seconds real quick when you run through the wall and hit the tab? What's up?
Kind of reverse camera and see Onres repairing the wall. That's all we wanted to see.
The one thing I did want to comment, though, I know we are going to talk about some of the lower tiers, but I think anyone that even just plans on buying the game, if you look for $30, you get the full $50 game. So even the $30 tier, even that gets you the game for $20 off. So even that tier is cool. If you want in the beta, if you want into beta 2, then for $40, So still
Yeah.
$10 savings. You still get to the beta. So there's definitely some value even there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really did add some stickiness, I think, to not only people since it's a buy to play game. So it's not like I got in or whatever. It's like you buy the game, you're willing to outlay some money early on a game that, to be honest, if you bought it off the shelf, like Mike said, you save $10. You're guaranteed a slot in beta. You know, that's just smart. I mean, I think it's just a good business move.
Yeah, and if I know there's some people out there who, are still sketchy about Kickstarter and the whole crowdfunding thing, but I think if there's a safe bet in that space regarding MMOs and gaming, this is probably one of the safest. This game's going to get made either way. Your money's not going to be wasted. So if you're planning on playing it, now would be the time to
Yeah,
spot, because
these aren't
there's
first time developers. These guys have been doing this a long time. They've worked with publishers before. There's a reason they went to crowdfunding, and they pretty much said that in the video.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, if you plan to play the game ever, since it is a buy to play, no need for a subscription, a $30 and or $40 pledge gives you the game. You're not out anything. There's no risk in the crowdfunding because, you get the game. If you want nothing else, bingo.
Yep, exactly right. I didn't notice, just real quick, back to the original point there, the arcane cosmetic. I didn't, typically I lead with my wallet for some reason, and it's a stupid thing to do, but I did that first, so I didn't read a lot of the stuff on the page. But
We didn't read anything. We didn't even watch the video. We just threw money at the screen.
yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Yep, that is interesting though, because one of the, I don't know what that exactly means, but I always thought that another way that crafters could be effective is if having access to unique looks and cosmetics as well. So I don't know if that's just an advantage of it, but we know a lot more that there's a lot of stats and things that go into it. But I'm intrigued by that cosmetic set.
Yeah, so while we scroll down the tiers, let's talk about what they're telling us in the writing and also talk about the tiers. So I'm not scrolling back and forth because I'm sure I'm making people nauseous.
Absolutely. You're scrolling down, but you scrolled past something I just wanted to throw out there real quick. Right below the back the project there, it says will be funded at least $800,000 by March 26th. So I thought it was interesting. I don't know, if you've ever done Kickstarter as an individual or as a company, you're supposed to set some sort of goal. I mean, they don't just let you go, I'll just raise as much money as they'll let me raise. So even every company, even the company here, has to set a goal. And so their goal was 800K in a month. So that means I'm very excited because I'm hoping that it'll reach that relatively quick so we can see if there's any stretch goals or anything else related to their development plan for 800K in 4 weeks. I think it's a healthy number. I don't think it's too much of a grab, and I don't think it's too much of a reach, and I don't think they set the bar too low. So it's up to the community to keep the dialogue going.
Yeah, because it's interesting. We had a very exciting Twitter conversation yesterday about this very topic of how much that they were going to ask for. Kickstarter is always 30 days, so that's pretty much where their limit was at. I mean, mostly it's 30 days. I think you can do longer, but,
Sure.
They could have asked for a couple million and taken the chance of not getting it. They could have tried to take less and then just shot for a lot of stretch goals. But this seems like a nice, relatively sweet spot number, in my opinion, based on the type of game they've kind of showed us. It's not a mega triple A that needs, a lot.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point about that with stretch goals, which we know is kind of a hallmark of Kickstarter campaigns. What would that mean for Crowfall? Are there things they're holding back from us? What is really cool? Or not holding back, but things they really I couldn't imagine. But I guess we'll get into that.
Well, there might be something at the bottom of the page that none of us have looked at yet.
No, I just went down there finally. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've got stuff. Go ahead. Start rolling down, Chief, and I'll start ranting as we get to various things.
Okay, so the first thing we need to kick off here, it's the whole Eternal Heroes Dying Worlds. The characters are persistent. You have Internal Kingdoms as persistent. We all know this already, and if you watch the video, there's some very interesting things that they show you, So what are your thoughts on how the video presented that changing, destroying world aspect of this and how did it sink into you? Like, for example, for me, when the guy threw his hammer through the wall and then ran through the hole, I was like, whoa, yes, for example.
I think it did a really good job of exactly that. Just like the page does. I'm just, as I finally do scroll up and down the page here. I think it was a really good. It got the core concept of what they're trying to do. I think out about the game and how the campaigns reset and the destructibility and everything. I'm going to always have that little. But where's the crafting stuff in this big reveal yet? But we're not even live yet. But other than that, I think for the core, the core promise of the game, which clearly is going to be combat and intrigue and all that kind of stuff. I think they've done a pretty good job at getting a new and sort of complex topic into the video and described on the page so far.
Oh, Crowfall Game has joined us on Twitch. Welcome to
Crowfall.
the show.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to say, as I'm scrolling down, and I won't. I had it on multiple screens, so I could listen to the video, watch the video, and do the stuff. But I did notice the vassal piece was also interesting, and so now I need to go back through and reread everything related to vassals and pledges to see if there's anything specific related to that, because they did kind of talk a little bit more detail in the video about how vassals work and how your land splits down, to your vassals and stuff. And I'm like, oh, what does that mean to, my initial pull trigger? So I kind of need to spend a little time on that.
Mike, you've been rather quiet.
Well, I'm reading, absorbing. I don't multitask well. If I was chewing gum, I'd be in real trouble. No, I mean, I just echo what you guys are saying. I know that, to me, when I saw the video, I'm going, okay, where's the gameplay? Yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to see. And boom, there it was. It was everywhere. A lot of it. And the destructibility piece to me, like, I'm the kind of guy that need pictures. I like pictures. And so, to see that, character blast through that wall, to see the mountainside kind of collapse, or this building collapse, and realize that there'll be damage to who's ever standing underneath there. The strategic elements of that. I also thought that the way that they demonstrated it, showing the game of Risk, because I had read that explanation about how the perpetual Risk game, and eventually the one guy becomes the kingpin and nobody else wants to play and it's not fun. But to see that visually in a little movie was pretty good. And to see Blixtev all dressed up with the cigar and the helmet, that was quite funny. I thought they must have really enjoyed filming that. And be honest with you, it's really impressive how much of this they've kept under their hat until this last few weeks. Because I mean, most of the stuff we didn't even know 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find it interesting though. Back when they first started talking about campaigns, and I even read an article about this, they were talking about how the campaigns could go up to possibly a year. But here on their Kickstarter, they're saying it's typically 1 to 3 months or until a win condition. So it kind of makes me go, are we hardly ever going to see any really long campaigns?
Well, the discussion that we had on the forums was basically like this. It's wide open. In fact, what they would love to see is suggested campaigns, like a whole forum thread on, hey, I've got this idea and I've got this idea. And the answer has been consistently, however long it needs to be for it to be fun. And the cool thing is, because they're destructible worlds, if we play one and it's not fun, then we don't have to make another one of those. So, I mean, if it makes sense for a campaign to be a year, then it'll be a year. If it makes sense for it to be a month, then it'll be a month. Basically.
So what you're saying is, if I don't like the resources on that world, I can just blow it up and start over again.
Yes, James.
I like that. I like where your head is at. I like where you went there. I know Crowfall's and Tyrants in chat there. I think that's a solid concept. I believe I should be able to earn enough money and say, no, the quality of timber on this world sucks. Let's just etch-a-sketch this son of a bitch and start on over again. So that's awesome. I like where your head went, Mike. Well done, sir. Well done.
All right, so we're getting down to the next tiers here. The bronze and the silver is now showing on my screen, and the first thing we start to see is VIP memberships. And I noticed in chat
Yeah.
people are asking, what's the VIP membership? Well, without reading the FAQ, I'm going to have to say this is what would be considered you paying for a subscription to play.
Yeah,
Whatever
I
those
posted
full
it in
benefits
chat, so,
are.
yeah.
It's a buy-to-play game, so if you're not paying the subscription, you're not a gold member or whatever they're going to call it, then you need to purchase a VIP membership, probably via in-game or earn it via Kickstarter, to get those full benefits. And you can see these tiers as they go down farther and farther, how many months of that VIP membership you're going to get once the game starts. So,
Yeah, my
Anyway.
understanding is the biggest perk to that VIP membership is the offline skill training. So
Yeah.
it's going to have a passive skill system similar to what we've seen in Eve. And with the VIP, if I recall, you can train up 3 characters at
yes,
once, as opposed to just one. So to me, if I recall, that was the biggest perk that I saw, was the ability to skill up multiple characters. If I recall, also they talked about how they may have more things that they may add to it depending on what makes sense. But that's what I remember, at least right offhand.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Oh,
Anybody
sorry,
want to say anything else about these
I do.
tiers?
I just wanted to throw in that I have the stretch goal tier thing real quick. So what the stretch goal is, they should do, if they hit 800K or whatever in their time frame, they should stretch it to let's say 1 million, and then allow Tully and some of the community teams to rotate to smart locations. Maybe 200K allows them to hit a larger, maybe a booth presence at the upcoming, PAX or gaming or Gamescom or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Give us the ability to push them to community-based locations so we can have access to the community people that we want to have access to.
For sure.
You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
agree.
So, I mean, it's in many games they're hesitant to jump out too much into the community and gaming cycles, like a Gamescom or E3 or whoever, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. There's like 1,000 of them. But allow us to push you to there as a game if we can help you push your numbers up, that it makes sense to send community people out, set up a couple booths, and give us access.
Yeah. Just real quick on the VIP topic there, they do ramp up pretty quickly with the amount of VIP time you get. Like at the Amber tier, there's 6 years of VIP time included. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that was part of the clincher.
Now oddly, I'm not really an alt guy, so I may not take advantage of that extra offline skill training slots, but I thought that was a lot of time as far as how it came up. What's going on with the Twitch chat? Look at that. It's freaking out.
It's on the stream.
So
We're
that
being
is
spammed here.
so that is the, which one were we just talking about? We were just talking about the bronze, was it?
Yeah.
The bronze one. Okay, so the VIP membership, the avatar frame. So I mean, is this going to be just so it's a avatar frame and then a forum badge? Avatar frame, is that in game or is that just on the forums?
Yeah, good question. I just assumed forums, but maybe not. Let's see.
So that's very interesting. Now, so of course the bronze and then of course the silver patron. So we get everything we had before, and then with the silver patron, check this out. Exclusive God statue for your personal kingdom.
God's dead. Your choice of gods, looks like.
You get a God statue
Uh-oh.
for your personal kingdom.
Yeah.
So very interesting. So now we're talking about housing, right? Because you're now putting
Yeah.
statues into a building. So I don't know anything about that in Crowfall. Like, I don't know what kind of flexibility we'll have. A lot of us came from WildStar, and we know what kind of flexibility we have here, had there. But are we going to be able to resize this thing, or do silly things with it, or do you think it's going to be more okay? Put it in a normal place where you'd put a statue. What do you think?
I don't know. You get the ability to build. I mean, if it's mini voxel based, what? don't know. Maybe we get to adjust the land a little bit. I know I'm hoping I can adjust the terrain because I don't want people running through my walls as easily as that guy did.
Well, that's an interesting thought that I had. So that would be the place, right, where they might allow some kind of building. But are these? Do you get the sense that these Eternal Kingdoms, these personal spaces, are instanced, or are they sort of out in an open world where players can just come across your kingdom? What do you think?
Good question. Good question.
I don't know. The other thing we start seeing as we move down is again, besides talking about land, some of the cosmetic stuff kind of interests me too. Anytime you bring in anything guild related, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? We don't know a lot yet, right? We don't know a lot of if one person is a guild, does it make sense for everyone in the guild to chip in to make sure one person has this extra thing? So one person in your guild is having the right purchase level give you an advantage, or if you got 8 people in the guild that all have this, what does that mean? When you have 8 people with a certain backing level with some of these access for guild heraldry or whatever that is.
Hey, I don't want to just disrupt the flow here, but pretty soon it looks like it's almost 9, right?
47 seconds. Yeah,
So they're
I'm
gonna
showing
go
0.
live.
I'm showing
It's
0
going
right
live.
now.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
It just hit. There it is. It just reset. So time, destruction, and power. So wow.
Wait,
yeah,
I don't have any stream. You're saying it's live? I don't have it live.
Yeah, no, I don't have the stream live. I have the
website.
they reset the website.
Oh,
I
wasn't even.
The new
The website.
Kickstarter.
The countdown on the website is now 0, and we are now looking at the revealed screen. Although I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of that already kind of kind of came out a little early.
You tip in when you get the video, right?
Right. Looks like we did get a couple more archetypes popped in there, which we can talk about here once we finish the Kickstarter conversation. Looks like they did add the Druid and the Ranger. So So Druid, we were pretty close on that. I was like Dryad. The Ranger's interesting, but we'll I don't know anything about those. We can dive into those here in a little bit. But so the countdown is now 0. We're there, and so yeah. That's it. Wow. That's the reveal. So we just got done. So we're so go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say they have a stream kicking off at 9, right? Also.
I thought that was later.
Is it just later?
Okay. 2:00.
I think it was later. They were going to show some art assets being made live. I don't think there was like an actual presentation.
Okay. People are still in chat. They should probably.
All right. I just didn't want to make sure anybody wasn't missing something, particularly anybody on our stream, if there was anything official going on. But it doesn't sound like there is outside of the website.
They should create some duelist hamsters for me. I want to look at coloring. I may have to actually go buy a guinea pig to have one around the house just so I get ready for my hype.
Oh, the champion's there too. So it was the Druid, Ranger, and champion. So it does look like we got a full archetype list there. So we'll dive back into that here in just a minute.
And new backstories. That's what I'm kind of interested in. I've been really enjoying some of the backstories.
Yeah. Right.
And the I know we're jumping all over the place, but interesting on the Kickstarter page too. It looks like for the first time they go into the promotion classes, like what these archetypes can kind of move into.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Knight, Swordsman, Crusader, Sentinel. Oh,
very cool.
Good.
Very cool. So, all right. So the Silver Patron, Franklin, I know you're doing a lot of admin stuff in the background right now.
Trying to keep the page alive. Well done, sir.
Did you have any other comments on the Silver Patron section?
No, I think the fact that we start seeing about your kingdoms and the fact that you're going to get a unique soul statue is interesting. We already knew kingdoms are permanent. We already knew they were customizable. The fact that you're going to be able to decorate it in some way is interesting. An additional character slot was jumped out at me. This is the first tier where you could actually have 4 characters.
Yes.
If we go back to the training thing, you still only can train 3 at a time as a VIP. Do we see later in tiers you can actually earn the ability to train more? I would hope not. Even if you have 10 characters, you should still limit it to 3. But that's my opinion. But anyway, that's all I seen. The forum badges and frames and stuff. To me, those aren't interesting. I don't spend enough time on the forums to matter. Not because I don't want to, just because I don't have the time to keep up with it all. But anyway, gold tier is the next tier down.
Can I jump in here? This one is the one, of course, that's got a lot of people. If you look at the numbers are there really well. They've already, they're closing in on 100 total. So, I mean, if you think of everyone buying a game at $50 a pop, this is the same as 300 and some odd people, or actually, 150 people pushing down at 150. You know what I mean? So you get this multiplier of cash value for the team. And I think this is all about the first time you see Alpha 2 listed. Wow, that helps. 6 months VIP. What kicked me into the Kickstarter is the Stronghold. We've been talking about Personal Kingdoms. Is Personal Kingdoms going to be in the Eternal Realms? Is that going to be just a fancy lobby? Some people are saying, well, it's not that much. I'm like, well, we got to sell, we got to store, we got to do stuff, right, between campaigns. We all know that you can die and lose equipment and lose inventory based on traveling between worlds. So, right, you got to store your crap somewhere. So is that Personal Kingdom? And if that's Personal Kingdoms, then you start hearing a cottage, a stronghold. To me, that seems like, well, maybe that's my bank, right? Maybe this is how to create more of an interesting or more engaging bank. So that's really caught my eye in gold, at least for me.
Yeah, gold does look pretty interesting when it's talking about, what struck me is the different variations there are to the Eternal Kingdom. I mean, because you can own just a single piece of land, a cottage, or you can upgrade that to a small fortification here in the gold level. But further tiers, you start seeing where you have areas where you can have other people put their cottages on your land and control the taxes and stuff. Also, what jumped out at me at this level was increase your bank size. So that tells me, oh, hey, bank limitations are going to be important. So while there's VIP that may give you some of that, it may be something you have to buy to upgrade. So you're looking at the potential of a storefront of things you can buy, bank space typically being that type of a free-to-play game type monetization. Boy, did I stumble on that word. Here, bank space is jumping out as is saying, yep, that's going to be part of it. So.
And again, the Name of Fallen Hero piece, you mentioned that earlier, Mike. I have to get back into the FAQs about that. So is that part of some sort of actually
right
a chance to inject? Yeah.
Okay.
Something to inject your thought process into lore? Okay, cool. Go ahead.
So what are the Name of Fallen rewards? FAQs state specifically, campaign worlds are generated procedurally. That means we use a program to generate each new campaign map with mountains, rivers, valleys, trees, you name it. Part of this generation includes creating ruins of past civilizations, abandoned castles, haunted villages, statues of fallen monarchs. To make these environments come alive, we assign names to them, like Keep of Argonon or the Kingdom of Truganesh. These reward tiers give you a chance to have your own name in the mix, helping us craft the narrative backdrop of the Crowfall universe. How cool is that? I'm gonna be fighting in a world, and we're gonna be battling over the Tower of Anres.
Absolutely.
It's probably a fort more than a tower, but
True.
All right, so let's move on down to the next tier, which is the Amber tier. And as Lethality and I both have stated, what grabbed us here was the physical collector's edition. And what I'm intrigued to discover is what's going to be included in that. Will we get a physical map of some kind? Maybe a statue? Maybe just a book of artwork? I mean, we kind of rolled the dice to what's going to be there. I mean, we've got pins already, but what's going to be in that physical collector's edition is almost like the lottery, right? Some collector's editions are done really, really well, and then some are just like, I got a pretty box.
Well, we can't have a map, right? Because apparently all the maps change all the time. So
Oh no! So, what about a map of the universe? We have the
Oh, yeah,
picture
at
of the
least
worlds with the
Sure.
rings. Why
Yep.
couldn't that be something nice and physical cloth to put on a wall that maybe has bits and pieces of lore on there? You know, the gods overshadowing in the background or something. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just speculating.
I'm sure they'll do something cool because, Gordon and those guys, they come from an era where, collector's editions were cool with cloth maps and all those things. So I expect something pretty cool out of that.
Yeah.
But I don't
This
know
is
what.
also the tier where, like you said, 5 years VIP, veteran membership for 6 years total. Holy moly. Basically, you've got this game and you're going to be playing it for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
But the key is there, you also get a guild reservation name.
Yep. Yep. That pushed me a little bit
right?
too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, okay, you start calling everyone and sending Twitters. Okay, which one of my guilds is here? Okay, who's
All
got
right.
their tax returns?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Who's gonna-
I'm registering beep beep. I'm a Jeep right now.
Don't tell everybody.
Someone's got to grab that for the guild. Okay, someone's got to take the hit. Oh, you're single. Okay, you got it. You got it. Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's tough when you start seeing reservation type things. That does push me in my mindset between tiers.
But I find it's interesting we have a guild reservation name, but none of the previous tiers had a name reservation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. One of the tiers had one.
Did it?
Name reservation?
Yep.
Let me look here.
Yep,
It's
early.
unique character name. There it is. Bronze patron level. So
Oh, I
if
read
you
right
go-
over the top of it.
If you go gold or silver, you get it guaranteed. Bronze is the lowest level to reserve your name.
Yep, I'm picking Onrez. I know that.
Awesome.
That's my name.
Awesome. And the funny thing is that if you do that, then everyone will just will greet you, and I'll still get fish without having to worry about it. So
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
Onrez because, we're all going to be out to stop him from making money so we can.
I know.
please do. I'll just add an extra Z to mine and still be wealthy. So that'll be awesome. So what's the next level? We want to chat into Amber, right?
Yeah, we need to probably pick up the speed here a little bit, but
Yeah, a little bit.
we're talking about tax-free parcels of land, which means there's going to be taxation in the game, which whether
Yeah.
that goes to the game or that goes to the lord of the land, probably a mix of both because every game needs some kind of money sink of some degree. So there's going to be tax to make sure that people don't buy land, then abandon it and stop playing, and then somebody else can't get it. I expected there was going to be some taxation, but right here, they also start with a title knight or lady. That's pretty interesting. You get a unique title for that. I'm assuming that if you earn your way up to purchase that size of a plot yourself, you can earn that title also. But part of Kickstarter, getting that right out the bank, is pretty good. And we're already up to 6 character slots. I'm still concerned about why do we need so many characters, though. But
That's probably a good topic for another upcoming show or something. But I a lot of people love playing alts. Certain games like Star Citizen and Revival are doing some interesting things where you have your alts, or other characters, but you can actually use them in your game. So if you want to hire an NPC for something, it can be one of your other characters. So maybe there's some thoughts around that.
yeah,
Someone in chat had mentioned maybe explaining or talking more about what we think taxation is going to be. Sorry to pivot, but it's nice to get a good question from the crowd.
yeah.
I think it's taxation is really a way for them to put in some sort of currency gold sink that doesn't necessarily have to do. We know that things are going to break down. We know we're going to need crafters. We're going to need a lot of things. So, but what I do like is the concept of I can choose to accumulate more land. I can choose to grow my kingdom and become more wealthy. And by doing that, I have to then take on more cost to pay the overall, I don't know whether it's Eternal Kingdom or if I'm a vassal or someone above, I've got to keep paying upstream. That's why we're all trying to be on top of the throne, right? If you're on top of the throne, all gold for taxation, I believe, will probably come up to you. So that's kind of the exciting thing I think about for accumulating land, and I've got all these cool keeps and cottages that I'm flexing and showing and handing off to my vassals. the more vassals you accumulate, because the more land that you capture and acquire, the more it's going to cost you. So, really managing your, being gold poor in Crowfall seems like it's going to actually be a painful thing. You're going to have to be careful not to overextend, because if you can't pay your taxes, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Well, and you also got to look at, they've said that as certain tiers of ownership in the Eternal Kingdoms, you can set your own rule sets. Well, if you just own a cottage, you're not setting rule sets, but the monarch you pay taxes to will. And, you might get to set your tax rate as the lord or the king of the area, and if you, might get taken off the throne if you abuse your power too much, or you might prosper as a wonderful kingdom, just like we see in the whole king and vassal and subject thing. You
just
piss
a
off
random.
your dukes.
Sorry, just a random thought as I scroll down and look at some of the things, the titles, the starting titles that appear to are relate to your personal kingdom. Apparently, right? So the amber tier that we're started at. Chief is was it Baron and Baroness is a starting title, but as you go down, you get Count and Countess and Duke and Duchess. So they call them starting titles for your personal kingdom. So that means there must be some kind of progression there that you earn through your. And I wonder if that's going to be through play in your personal kingdom, like all those parcels you get. Can people come and live in your other players in your personal kingdom?
Right. Yeah.
And it's interesting.
If I hit a bad stream of luck, can I go live on Elvine's magical kingdom for a while? Kind of like can I go live in his bath, in his schoolhouse or something until I get back up on my feet? Kind of like had a bad string of luck and kind of trying to live as cheap as I can, top ramen and stuff like that, and then boom, I'm back out into the game.
That's your motivation to win in the campaigns, is because
Yeah,
you need I don't want to have to beg outside of Anra's Street, looking to feed myself. I want to be able to have my own home and my own land and work my way up too. I mean, we know the game doesn't have level progression, right? So I mean, this is the key to it right here. This is where we find it. So very, very interesting way to do this for sure. I've never played a game like this before. It's fascinating. Like, I've never done this before. The taxation, though, I mean, it's necessary, especially if the Eternal Kingdoms are open world, right? You just can't have somebody steal up a bunch of land and just let them keep it forever. It's a buy to play game. I mean, they don't have to sub for it, right? So something has to open up that space if they don't log in for 3 years, right? Very, very possibly the tax will have something to do with that.
Well, and you got to look at it twofold. I think the titles are going to be kind of tied like a leaderboard. How much do you participate in campaigns? How much glory have you achieved? As you raise through the ranks, you start as a serf and you work your way up to a lord or a baron. In game is part of that sequence, but there's also the how much land you control with that title. You have to pay taxes to maintain it. So you need, the more land you have, you're going to have to get taxes from the people that you have supporting you to maintain that title. So it's going to be an interesting mechanic to see how that works.
And we may get an article on that explains all of it completely different than we just said, and we could be completely wrong. So which tier were we talking about anyway? Were we talking about the Sapphire?
We're now to Sapphire, yes.
Okay, on to Sapphire. Very good. Okay, look, Alpha 1.
Yeah, and there are people talking in chat saying, "Oh my God, it's so expensive! I have to pay $5,000 to get into pre-alpha." I think again, I said this earlier, also Twit in his stream before, is that I think people just are starting to get too crazy about access and the feel of their access. I mean, Alpha 1 is alpha, right? And so you're paying, a premium to get an alpha. People are saying, well, I get in pre-alpha to pre-alpha, I have to pay $5,000. I go, in my mind, pre-alpha is friends and families, right? I mean, friends and family are people are, hey, can you take a look at this? This isn't even really close, but we want to take your opinion. So what J. Todd and Gordon are saying is that you spend $5,000 and you're their friend. So now you can just be their friend and come in and log in, and we'll go their friend log in. That seems to be a very fair thing.
Andres, if you give me $5,000, I'll be your friend.
$5,000, I better buy a couple of friends. Is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, for $5,000, you get to become someone's friend and get an early access. This is just, this is the first level of alpha. They already talked about in the FAQs. You're going to get, a bunch of cyclic access. I think for this, I think we just need to be realistic that there is a huge difference between pre-alpha, which in my opinion is raw cut, friends and family, wink, wink, nod, nod, take a look, versus, alpha.
Well, game development works this way. You have to start with a small enough pool so you can test certain things. As you get those things down, you then build up to a larger pool. And as you look at these tiers and when folks get into alpha and eventually beta, it makes perfect sense. By the time you got your pre-alpha set, you're ready for alpha. Now you want to let in a few more people to test systems. If the alpha access, I'll guarantee you, if everybody could afford to get into alpha, it really wouldn't be alpha. It would have to be in beta stage for it to be stable enough to handle everybody that wants to play. So it's exclusive for a reason, and they're doing it for the right reasons. What they want is people who are invested in the game to be helping make the game. And to me, that's probably the smartest way to do it. Does it exclude folks that don't have the expendable cash? To a degree, yes. And that's one of the hard realities of it. And who knows, we may see more future opportunities for folks to get in different ways, but as of right now, that's the way they're doing it, and it seems to be, in my opinion, the right approach.
Well,
ding, ding, ding. Hold on one second. Looks like we've got an update in chat. Someone has said that the campaign has reached 100,000 already. Now it's only been live officially for 20 minutes. So that's good.
Holy mackerel.
Well, that's huge news. I mean, with only 800K being the goal, we're 1/8 of the way there.
And again, we're averaging about 115 to 125 a backer, if you look at that. So we're averaging well over $100 a backer. So people are, in my opinion, there's a lot of people that are pushing the that first level of gold tier for probably a good reason, because they start feeling that they get a little access to the land and a little access to an early cycle of data.
Yeah, which leads back into what you were talking about, access to alpha. While it's a good perk, I sometimes question why they include that in starters, because while you might have the money to invest, not necessarily are you going to be the best tester. Yes, you're invested and you're passionate, but it's a double-edged sword there. And I think Mike is right. It works. It's high enough to really say you want to make sure it's the best game, even if you're not the best tester. This is not the only way you get into alpha. They've already showed that, being in early, being involved, you're going to get invites even if you don't spend the money. But they're going to bring it in as they need it, not as, like you said, well, if everybody could just buy into alpha, it's not alpha anymore, right?
No.
You've got 10,000 people, you can't manage it.
You now have a bunch of customers. The game's for sale, and by the way, I did just bump mine up. Just peer pressure, guys. I'm now Amber. That's all I'm going to say.
Yay!
Peer pressure. You got me.
So this would be interesting. We all get a reserved guild name. If we can all team up and put all our guilds next to each other and basically dominate one area of the map, that'd be awesome. Anyway, just...
Let's give a strategy right now. Let's tell everybody.
Yeah, let's just tell everybody. But let's look at the sapphires. So now you have a personal kingdom with a starting title of Baron. You have 5 bonus tax-free parcels. You get a castle and a villa. Now, I wonder how the villa works. Is that like you're going to have a market square? Is that going to be where you locate your crafting?
I don't know.
You have a chapel.
I don't know what it is, but I want.
I don't really need a chapel. That just makes me feel guilty, and I'm already tithing.
Well, does your chapel give you bonus accesses to your gods? Are there going to be a limited number of chapels? Things are starting to get really interesting that FAQs are going to have to answer for us, or we're just going to speculate the heck out. Oh, well, we're going to speculate anyway.
Sure.
Onres's internet cannot handle the magnitude of his rants. I can tell you that right now.
It is that poor hotel he's in. I can't.
I know.
He's got plenty of points. They'll clean it up.
You know everyone else is watching, and I'm watching videos of you guys. So that's.
Okay, so Hiveleader has uploaded a gameplay video from MMORPG.com. That's awesome.
Nice.
You guys have to go
Nice.
check that out after our show.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I guess we're going to be done. What, 9:30? You think, Chief?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. I don't think we're gonna have time to get
I
into
want to
too
go
much
watch. I want
more.
to go watch some gameplay videos, but let's finish out these
So now
these
we're
tiers.
looking
Though.
at
There's some good stuff.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Guild heraldry. So again, the ability to start customizing. If I think I doubt that it's one of those things it's going to adjust the guild more than something cosmetic, or maybe even cosmetic on your keeps, banners, flags. But maybe there's something else there beyond the game.
I don't know. It's interesting though that you could. Each tier has had some heraldry if you had the guild capability, but the ability to bring in your own heraldry into the game is probably huge for either a very specific guilds or those multi-gaming guilds that already have imagery. There's so many of them out there that have a set symbol they use in every single game. This is an appealing tier for
Yes.
a guild leader to say, hey, I want my guild to support this game along with all our others, and hey, I get to bring our symbol into the game and everybody's going to recognize it. That is a really nice approach. Now, true, it has to be approved, but the fact that they will go through the work and the effort to make that a game asset on top of everything else for, pardon the term, a measly $1,000 says a lot.
Well, I think that there are guilds. For example, I'm thinking of Lord Hammer, Guild Umbra. When his guild is attacking, when you look up and you see that big guild logo, and who's coming, there's something there. Or Shadowhorn has his guild. He's the guy that runs CrushTheThrone.com, which is a great website, by the way. If in chat or if you're here, definitely you want to go to CrushTheThrone.com, register. Great fan and community website.
Ooh, maybe that's a good way to start now. I mean, now that we know that there's a lot of good things, there's a lot of people in stream. Have you started talking about now's the time to talk about maybe starting a guild, getting a guild web page together?
For sure. I think those are the kind of things, or maybe a Golden Glory flag. Of course, I'm not paying for it, but if we had a Golden Glory flag, but who knows? Maybe some of this stuff can be earned in game as well. Perhaps so, perhaps not. I don't know, but I'm sure the castle, like the progression, will be as far as the names and the size of the buildings and stuff. I'm sure that is progression in the game. But this idea of being able to have your own guild heraldry is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Let's see here. Let's keep it rolling here. I mean, there's some really good information on this page. It's just amazing. Now we're getting up into the Emerald.
Yes.
You get to visit the studio. They're not paying for your travel, but hey, you get to visit the studio.
Monthly Q&A with Artcraft.
Wow.
See, here's the thing. I think J. Todd and Gordon should pay me not to buy Emerald. Because if they have to go through a monthly rant with me, that's probably worth tangible money for them not to do. Just throwing that out there. I'll watch Twitter and see what you think.
Well, speaking of that, if you want to rant with OnRes, I threw up the Crush the Throne site there where you can come talk to us about our shows, what we're going to talk about, what we're going to do. Get over there and personally get in an argument with OnRes and rant about it. And we might even be able to give away some Crush the Throne coins for you to spend on the site. We will support you for you supporting us.
Yeah, whoever gets in there and throws out a decent question, we'll dive in there, we'll rant, and we'll throw out some coins. I think that's a great idea. I think that's awesome.
Those Crush coins are how you buy flair and things like that on that forum. So it's a really cool system. But you gotta want to check out that site for sure. Okay, so next.
So we talked about Emerald. One last thing. Did you see the now we're up to 20 bonus tax-free, so 40 tax-free parcels at Emerald. So looking at the heraldry thing, does that mean 40 of your sub-vassals that you've picked up now are living on the dole, on the tax-free dole. That's frightening. We have no idea about taxation, but I already like living for free.
Yes. Agreed.
And then now we're to the one that I have a personal love for. The pre-alpha testing, yes, Diamond. What's up with happy hour? Can I just say that for 5K, come on out. We go to happy hour XYZ. So what that tells me is that they actually have a happy hour location in Austin. They just have it hidden. Because if everyone knows where it's at, it's no longer special. So I could see everyone that's in the video there at the end of the thing who said, hi, come to whatever. They all have to be mum's the word of where they go drinking every night, because if everyone knows where they go drinking, then they have to change it.
Right. So James, when you and I make our planned trip to go, visit their studio, instead of setting out a war plot in the front parking lot, we will bring our favorite mugs and drinking cups.
We'll get there a day early. We'll get there a day early and tail them to their old drinking hole and just kind of wander. Good. Oh, who would have thought that you guys drink here also?
Or just tailgate the parking lot with,
That's true.
Come with your own alcohol, make them come out and play.
It is Texas. They are in Austin, for Christ's sakes. I'm not a huge fan of the Longhorns, but I'm willing to drink with anyone in Texas if I can talk MMO.
Aren't you stuck in Texas right now?
I am stuck in Texas right now. Part of me is dying inside. You can tell, right?
So some good other things there on the Diamond patron tier, but then the 10,000. Has anyone done the 10,000 yet?
Yes, one backer.
One backer, 10,000
so far.
Look at that.
Congratulations, you who have disposable income.
Oh my God!
Investing it in this game. I love it.
Can we be your friend?
Yes, I love it.
Private dinner. Look at that.
Again, they should pay this.
His bandwidth cannot handle his anger.
The internet cannot handle
Anres is
the
frozen.
Magnitude of Anres' internet.
But look at this, 160 parcels. You are a king. I think I called this yesterday on Twitter saying, how much was it going to cost to be the ruler? Well, now we know, 10,000.
There you go. It's Yep. Wow.
Pretty amazing stuff.
Wow. So obviously people are loving these options because we're now seeing it almost 120K. So it's, unless people are like me and they're like, okay, I got to do the next one. But almost 900 backers already. Almost 120K. So things are moving along very nicely. It does look like there is some gameplay video out there. MMORPG.com has been sharing. They've got some gameplay video up. So I know I'm jonesing to go see it. I want to see some of this gameplay and see what some of the press got to see. I really think I really like what I see with these tiers. I really do. I think they did a really good job of having. I was wondering what they would sell, and because you don't want something to seem icky or too pay to win, and I don't see that in here at all.
Yeah.
No, I think they're pretty good. It's a pretty good, strong sort of initial set of tiers, and like we talked about earlier, who knows what the stretch goals could be? It's going to be interesting to see those roll out. But as far as the tiers goes, I spent some time scrolling down the page. There are so many other things to talk about, that little nuggets of info that we didn't have before. Luckily, we're going to do another show tonight, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so definitely get up on the Kickstarter page if you haven't. Check everything out. I mean, heck, look at all those smiling faces from the team that you just have to go, skip everything else. Just go look at the team. That's an impressive group of people right there, It's going to be exciting how this all plays out. Everything we do. And yeah, we're going to spend days, months just trying to catch up with this beyond just the Kickstarter. And if you head over to their new FAQ page, everything is filled in. We have new topics for everything, but this is a good time to wrap it up Was glad to good times to be here for the countdown.
Yeah.
We hit 0. It was a little anticlimactic because they put everything up early.
We were scrambling, like, whoa.
We were trying to
we were
sell
kind of
here when it launched.
We were kind of expecting to be going 10, 9, 8, but that's okay. That's okay. We didn't have to fumble around trying to get our credit cards out while we were talking on stream. So I guess I'll count that as a blessing.
Yeah, it was good. So get on the website, check everything out, make sure you're here for the future shows. Yeah, I'm stumbling all over myself just because I want to go watch a video.
Okay, absolutely.
Come on back tonight.
Just
So
come see us. Same bat channel, 10 tonight Eastern. We'll be here. Franklin.
Yep.
He's working all the switches back there and hosting. He's doing a great job with that. Follow that man on Twitter and follow his YouTube. He's got great stuff out there. I'm going to be your agent, Chief, because I go to your channel. There's so much good stuff on your YouTube channel. I need to get more people over there for you because you've got a lot of great content there, buddy.
Yeah, so I just threw into the Twitch chat there all our links. We're over at Twitter, Golden Glory PC. We have a YouTube channel. Each of us have our own Twitters. I'm Chief_Sarkcan. Airwolf is Airwolf. Lethality is Lethality. And Onres is Onres. Big surprise.
Actually, lethality is real_lethality.
Oh, real_lethality. Not a fake
Real
_lethality.
quick. Real quick,
Wait,
before we...
did you see that from Tyrant in the chat? Boom!
Yeah.
Reveal. A parcel is 1K by 1K chunk of land in the Eternal Kingdom. You get 9 by default. So that means
Wow.
that's how large a space you have. So if no concept of fast travel, just think how far you have to run to cover your own land.
I don't think there's
that's
going to be any
interesting,
fast
but
travel.
what I
in
really
the
want to
game.
hear,
Right.
I really want to hear that's open world. I don't want that to be an instance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So, but hey, before we go, so we got the big reveal today and all this information. Everybody in chat, let's get everybody to do some homework. Like, come tonight with questions because
yes.
we're all going to be spitballing on the same stuff, and everybody will have 12 hours of thinking about it by then. So let's come with good questions in the chat.
Yeah, great. I love it. Love it. Bring them on.
All right. Is that it then, gentlemen?
That's it.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out to the show. See you tonight, 10 o'clock.
Later, guys.
Later.
Thanks for coming. See
Take
ya.
care. See ya.